Hello everybody. Welcome back to Orbis Overdrive. Happy Thursday. I hope you're all doing well. It's your guy Gimmick, and wow, we've got a lot to talk about today, don't we? There's so much going on right now. New heroes, new releases, new everything, right? But first, as always, right, I hope that you guys are all having a wonderful day today. I know that I am as well. Any good luck so far? Any good polls? I mean, obviously there's still Epic Dash going on, but you know, for something that might have been released today, does anyone have any good stories to share about their poll luck? We'll have to see, right? Slide this way, all right. I personally haven't pulled for Heart City today. Maybe we'll do that at the end of the stream today, but well, we'll have to see. People are saying new dupes. Someone's saying spin the wheel. We'll get to the wheel later, okay? We'll definitely be spinning the wheel, the big wheel of balance later on today. But you know, I always like to check in with you guys. It's like a great, fun Thursday. Some people are saying are 4 to pity, very close. All right, good luck. Maybe Garl will show you some favor there on the secret shop. But you know, there's so much that go on. I know there's a lot being discussed right now. But you know, why don't we just pop right into the imprint and talk about what happened in last night's update? Well, here we are. After quite a few weeks of waiting, Heart City is finally here and out today. I know it's been a long time coming. We've seen her kit for quite a while now, and well, here she is. She is now available to summon in the Mystic Summon, so if you have Mystic Metals, be sure to use it there if you'd like to pull for her. I know it's very exciting, but she wasn't the only hero that was actually announced today. Let's move on to the next slide and talk about the next hero as well. Inheritor Amikia, the next specially changed hero to finally come out. Here she is in all of her glory. It's pretty interesting to see how she was announced for her kit. She had this very interesting glass cannon design, and it plays more into that with the specialty change, and she can now be unlocked today. The requirements are pretty simple, I'd say. It's like defeating 200 units in an episode 5 area, reaching level 4 with friendship, and I believe there's also one other requirement as well. All right, let's move into the next one. Yes, so this is also another thing here with the announcement and release of Heart City is also part of the new boss for the Hall of Trials. Very, very interesting stuff. I don't know if you guys have been doing your Hall of Trials. I just finished mine here with Astromancer lineup, but this is a part of the new Hall of Trial modes that we've been trying to experiment with, and I hope you guys have been liking it. Personally, I've been able to get some of the new exclusive equipments for the ML5. It's very exciting stuff, but I don't have all of them just yet, so maybe in due time. There's still some time for me to get some, but let's move into the next slide here. Yes, the other exclusive equipment part of the Hall of Trials is the exclusive equipment for Summertime Assyria and Hua-Young. So for these two characters, we have an 8 to 16% effectiveness for Summertime Assyria and a 5 to 10 speed for Hua-Young. We will be getting a little bit more into the details about their exclusive equipments once we speak with our guests, but this is just kind of like a big overview of what we're talking about today. Just as a quick aside here, I do see some discussion about some of the other stuff regarding the China server. Please understand that Epic 7 China is not managed by Smilegate. But with that said, I'll be moving on to the next slide right here. Yes! Something that's very exciting here is the Night of the Last Succession, the side story rerun. So that is Midnight Gala Lilius' side story, as we know, was last year's art contest winner and is now a hero in the game. She will also be available once the side story rerun. That is going to be next week, but I thought we'd put this here just because, well, it's nice to see here. And last but not least here in our slides, we have, yes, the Pursuit season for the World Arena starts very, very soon. Today is the 26th. It's going to be starting on the 28th at 5 UTC. So pretty soon. And the hero that's going to be announced is Para Captain Flan. Very exciting stuff. I'm very excited to see how this all turns out. You know, like the art team always cooks with these designs. I'm really excited to see how it turns out. But that is everything that we had for the imprint section. So why don't we get into our guest here and introduce the one, the only, the Peruvian king, D-Xander.
Hello.
D-Xander, it is an absolute pleasure to have you on the Orbis Overdrive today. Hope you guys are doing well. If you'd like to take a moment to introduce yourself, please feel free to do so now.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Thunder. I'm a Spanish content creator. Maybe you see me recently on the Epic 7 World Championship, but mainly I focus on streams.
So as a PvP player yourself, you've been playing for, how long has it been now? Have you been playing Epic 7?
6 years more or less since its release, like 1 week later, something like that.
All right. So had a lot of time and experience, and you said you also participated in this year's World Arena, the Epic 7 World Cup. How was your experience with that? You know, you placed very well. I love watching your matches, but how did you feel about your placement during the matches?
I think I played good. I failed a lot of times, but I mean, in only 2 months, I think I improved a lot because I get Legend and Epic 7 World Championship at the same time, and always I keep on Emperor and I play for fun most of the time. And
That's
I
good.
start to try hard in 2 months.
I mean, like it's just amazing to see, you know, how far you went. Again, I think you said that you reached legend just a couple months ago. So first of all, congratulations on that. Do you have like a particular favorite hero, either you know through your PvP grind or just in general that you have from all the years?
There are two special units. One is Martial Artist Camp because it's like the main image from my channel, and it was my first Moonlight 5 stars hero.
Oh, really?
And the other one is Run. It's the
Ooh,
other one.
Ran. All right, so both sides of the echelon, right? You got this like slow counter player, and then you got that super aggressive character like Ran. Was Martial Artist Ken your selective summon or your Moonlight Blessing? That is, or did you just was that
Uh,
like your first ML5 that you got?
no, it was the first one in the game.
Wow. Oh, that's right. That's right. I mean, it's like it's very interesting to see like the history of like Epic 7 like over time, right? Especially with over 6 years of experience. I mean, it's cool to see that you have like you know you're holding a lot of I guess like a favorite spot for like some of the oldest characters in Epic 7, and obviously the new wave with Rand being an Episode 4 character. It's cool to see the evolution of Epic 7. So I mean, that's awesome stuff. Why don't we start by talking with the new characters? I know a lot of people are very excited to talk about that. Harsetti. So, just to give a quick rundown for Harsetti's kit for those who haven't seen, just in case, her skill 2 is kind of like the biggest thing that she has to introduce, right? Being that all speed, and not just the opponents, all speed is capped to 90% of Harsetti's speed. It also makes it so that she disables combat readiness boosts on her turn, right? Her skill 3 is a 2-turn dispel, so tick down 2 turns of buffs, and then she puts on unbuffable and no counter. And her skill 1 is a def break with and then when used on her turn, gives an AOE attack break as well as an extra attack. A lot of crazy stuff, very interesting because you know with the changes of speed, just like you know you can slow down your characters a lot, you can slow down her a lot, put a lot more tankiness on it, right? Tons of options. What have your first impressions been so far for this?
The impression from Harsetti, I think she is really strong against Cliff and Agro comps. Because if you prevent, for example, Theo, you know for sure that you are going to be the fastest unit on
Right.
on the game on that spot.
Right.
But I think, for example, to play against, for example, units like Laia, Deity's Ray, standard units, she's just one more in that case.
Gotcha. So that's pretty interesting, right? Because I feel like for the most part, when you're talking about you know cleave units, they usually sacrifice a ton of their stats for speed, right? And because of that, they don't have a lot of survival stats. But even if you start pulling the speed around to more the mid range, they still got some tankiness on them. I mean, for a character like you know for Laia, who's both you know fast and pretty tanky, you know, it sounds like that she's mainly slowly falling off when she can't follow up and deal a lot of damage to those tankier units. Is that right?
Yep. I mean, yeah, it's that the point because you can, for example, if you have the first turn, for example, with Harsetti,
Right.
you know that with S3 or maybe with S1 and the proc from the S1, you are going to kill them. But in this case, for example, Laia, it's like a bit of damage and you are going to recover from maybe some artifact or healer on the team.
Right, right. So it sounds like for the most part, the biggest thing that you can do against our city right now is play more standard, which makes sense, right? I feel like when it comes to speed, a lot of characters who rely on speed are going to be a little bit, you know, a little bit slower, right? Or a little bit harder to use. And I know that people were also talking about characters like, excuse me. Oh, yes, Blooming Litica, right? A character who seems to synergize very well with Harsetti because of that really nice pushback. Unfortunately, can't do too much because her attack scaling is on speed too, right? So she's not going to do as much damage.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that combo or synergy with Arceti and Blooming Lyrica, but you need Arceti on 300 speed, more or less,
Yeah.
to have a good speed tune. That's the
Right.
point.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you basically turn her back into an opener, right? Which is interesting.
Yeah.
So how are you building Harseti yourself?
Right now, I've been testing today all the unit, and I did a speed base, more or less. It's like 150 speed.
Okay.
It's like that. I prefer maybe a speed base, and that's
Okay.
all. But it's just it's the first day, so I'm not going to change superstats on some pieces to obtain that.
Yeah, certainly. I think give it a couple days, see how your build works out, and then if you don't feel like it's working the way you want it to, right, you can always adjust it and come back later. But it does sound like at least the one role that I think a lot of people were looking at was the anti-cleave role, and I think she's filling that very well in the current build. But with time, maybe a little bit more. And chat, as always, feel free to get your thoughts in on Harseti. If someone's asking, does Zio stop Harseti? Technically, the CR push does work, but it's about can you follow up well, right? That's the hard part, right?
It's like you have Theo, but you know that the next unit will be Harseti, or maybe you pull back Harseti, but the rest of the units, the six of them, will be at 90%, and it's RNG. So, are you going to trust on the RNG from the pushback or things like that?
Right.
It's hard.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things to figure out. So that comes with being like a day one thing, right? So, but it sounds like for the most part, a positive look for the role that she was kind of really trying to fill, and with time might be able to find some other things, right? As I always say, we've had several characters that have had kits that weren't really entirely realized until later down the line. So with time, we'll find more to work with. So that's great to hear though that there is good promise at least starting off the bat. Going on further here, we also had our second character, which is Inheritor Amiki, right? And so Amiki is just like a very interesting character, right? She had that immortality that can either proc by her own hand or it can proc by taking a lethal hit, right? And the biggest things that they changed to her kit with especially change, they increase her attack, her speed. She gets a pop now on her skill 3, so if she hits, right, she'll splash damage on other opponents. Her skill 3, it resets if she's immortal, right? Which gives her another, like basically a double tap, right? A built-in Elbrus, so if someone else gets hit, she provokes them, right? And then finally, the last big thing is that she cleanses on her skill 2 now, and CR pushes. So a lot of crazy stuff built into this one kit. Have you had a chance to build Amiki, and what do you think?
Yeah, I think Amiki is the funniest unit from this patch, to be honest, because you can fight a lot of units. For example, I think Amiki is really good to fight against BBK because most of the players play BBK around 150 or 160 speed, but they have like one immortality on BBK because you can dispel the first one or
Right.
you can activate fast the second one.
Right.
And I feel like Kamiki on all the games that I test today, I only lost against one BBK, and it
Oh.
was the first BBK.
It was a fast BBK. Got it. There's a
Yeah.
couple of builds, yeah, but I think that most people now are running the speed boot, like just all damage with a couple supports, right? I think that's what a lot of people have been talking about. Certainly, certainly. But for the most part, and how was her unlock requirements? Did you feel like they were pretty easy as late game player to figure out? Because it was mainly just like beating enemies and giving her some friendship points, right? Was that pretty simple compared to maybe other specialty changes, or
What do you mean about
the quests to unlock it?
the quest? I think it's pretty easy, to be honest,
Okay,
because I
great.
think it's friendship level 4 and to kill some enemies, and that's all.
Yeah, those are kind of the big ones. There's also the trial battle and some other stuff, but for the most part, I think those are like the big requirements, right? The little grind. You can do some background battling for that. So I'm glad that it sounds like that's pretty simple to do, especially episode 5 enemies are pretty scary, but I feel like once you're at the state of the game, you'll be pretty much okay. But yeah, good to hear. So basically, you're saying that she does really well against like BBK. It sounds like a really good counter against BBK. And I know a lot of people have been talking about Bloodleg Karin in the metagame right now. So it's good to see that there's another piece that can go toe to toe with these kind of characters, right?
For example, to play against something like BBK or things like this, or against BBK, I think it's really hard to play because she didn't have a lot of counters. So with this Amiki, maybe in the future, more units with immortality will be stronger, but maybe at the same time, units like Veronica maybe upgrade in the meta.
Yeah,
So
I was thinking
we
about
will
that too,
see.
right? She's one of the only immortality counters right now in the game, right? Unless you look at like, characters who have unbuffable or dispels, right? Veronica, right? The character to really say, hey, slow down on the immortality, please, right? Especially with the fact she dispels with ignore ER, right? Very, very strong tool at the start of her turn. But there's a lot going on, obviously. We're not really sure where she'll find her place, but I think that for the most part, yeah. And someone's saying, yeah, Amiki for unbuffable doesn't really matter too much because she does self-cleanse, but I was more speaking on the lines of against BBK, right? But yeah, there's still a lot of things that are going on. And people were saying that turn resets are also usable against Emiki, which is a kind of like a unique spot where she finds trouble, but there's ways around that. And also, she is ice against the fire unit, so someone like Naqual can't reset like that. All very interesting stuff for sure.
Yeah,
Let's
because
see here.
right now I
Yes.
think we have only 3 units that reset cooldown. I think Ruana, Nagwal, and Lua. If I'm not, Ayutkise.
Don't forget about Faith Athletica too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Today I
don't
lost
forget don't
like,
forget Fire Coeric either. There's a lot of characters out
whoa.
there. And Dillabek,
Yeah.
right? Judge Keith. There's actually a lot of turn reset characters. It's interesting. Someone's saying use Amiki with Spirit Eye and Abigail. Just throw on more immortality. Oof, man. Third pick Veronica would go crazy there.
Yep.
Okay. Some other thoughts before I go into as well. Before we go into the exclusive equipment, there's actually a third hero that I wanted to talk about as well, which is Fenris. Did you have a chance to check out Fenris at all? And what do you think about him?
I didn't pull Fenris
Okay.
recently because I didn't have too many Covenant because I spent like everything on farming on the events.
I see. Okay.
But I played against Fenris, and my opinion is that it's one more DPS, for example, but I don't feel like he's really strong to be picked instead of, for example, another one on that spot.
Gotcha.
Because I think like it's, um, for example, like Lionheart Thermi in the past that you need a counter to activate, but at the same time that you receive the counter, sometimes you die with that hero. So maybe a damage mitigator or something like Galalilias on Fenris could be good.
Like damage limit.
Yeah.
Okay. And funny enough, we will be speaking a little bit about Midnight Galililius later too. That might be interesting. Yeah. It is pretty interesting that Fenris did take the role of the fighting spirit extra attack counter when, because Lionheart just changed, right? Lionheart used to be that one, and now she's not. So, it'll be pretty interesting to see what comes out of it, right? But yeah, I think I do see what you're saying there because he needs to be built fast to take a turn and cut, right? But at the same time, if he's not bulky, right, it's very hard to work with high damage characters like that. So,
Yeah, exactly.
certainly understandable. I will definitely put that down for another thing of feedback. Any other thoughts about the currently released heroes from the past couple of weeks? Any other things? Chat, feel free to get your thoughts in as always. I'm writing them down right here. Check out the Sherman bookmark. It's very cute. All right.
What recently? Yeah.
All right.
recently
Sounds
you
good.
did
I'll
that
write them
we
down
have
as we
been-
go along then. Let's move
Okay.
on to the exclusive equipments then. Let's talk about Hua Young first. I'll be going down the list of the different effects. So Hua Young received a 5 to 10 speed EE. First one is that her skill 1 does 20% extra damage. Skill 2 is that her attack buff, which is gained at the start of her turn, is now working regardless of debuff status. So it used to be if she was clean of debuff, similar to another artifact like Benimaru's Tachi, right? And then skill 3 is another 10% damage on her skill 3. It's pretty interesting stuff. I think that the second one really covers a lot of her weaknesses, but let me know what you think about Hua Young's right now.
I think I didn't test a lot of Wayun right now today.
I see.
Only two games, but I think the best exclusive equipment for Wayun it's or the passive because it's like you said the Benimaru's Tachi that for sure you are going to get an attack buff. So
Right.
that's pretty good right now because the last Wayun we have in the past you have a lot of attack for sure. So now with this attack buff, you are going to guarantee it. So I feel that the passive is really good. The question is if maybe in this season, for example, with ill enough, Guayun is going to be important because we can see one hero that is Laia with penetration, that it's so strong, but she's going not really important this season because of ill enough, for example, or injuries.
Right.
So that's the point. I think it's a good boost, to be honest, but maybe not enough because some heroes on the meta right now.
Certainly. May need a little extra, but for right now, yeah, you're thinking skill 2, which, yeah, that's to me what I saw as like the most effective one at the moment, right? Being able to work against one of the biggest things that are going on, right? I think the biggest thing as well is that, like, it's still susceptible to unbuffable, but that's what can be said, right? Moving right along to Summertime Asteria. Summertime Asteria had a 8 to 16% effectiveness. Excuse me. And she had her skill 1 has an extra 5% dispel chance. Her skill 2 detonates a bomb that is already planted or burned as well. And then skill 3 was an AoE bomb plant. So very interesting stuff because I think a lot of people talked about Seaside Asteria's artifact being very important to activating her and using her, right? For people who play with her sort of style, right? So do you think that any of these are really beneficial to her, or or super beneficial, or like a best in slot, or do you feel like all of them are pretty flexible in how they're used?
I feel like, for example, I like two exclusive equipment from this area. The first one is the bombs that you are going to detonate the bombs with the S1,
Right.
like Pirate Captain Flan. It's something like that.
It's very similar, right? Very, very similar role where, Pirate Captain uses Soul Burn, or often Soul Burns, right, to uses Soul Burn to skill 1, plant a bomb, and use it. And with Seaside Asteria, she gets a free Soul Burn. So it's a very interesting tool that she can use now.
Yeah, maybe she's interesting on the control meta, but the question is, for example, with that exclusive equipment, why should we pick, for example, Caesarea instead of Captain Flan on that same spot, for example?
Sure.
And the one that I like is the ultimate, or the S3, because instead of RNG bombs on 2 from 4 units,
Right.
you are going to get 4 bombs for sure. And
That's a lot
I
of
think
bombs.
that's good.
That is a lot of bombs. Yeah. So the two characters still synergize very well. I feel like if you had the skill 3 one, that's even more dangerous.
Yep.
But, it definitely depends on how much damage you're putting out. Obviously, both these characters don't really use crit, so that means they can scale more into attack and speed and effectiveness, but a lot of stat spread. It does also feel like kind of paradise for characters like Dragon King Sharoon, but, we'll have to see how that goes along. Did you have any chance to play matches with Seaside Asteria, or is this more just your own theory crafting?
No, nothing. Only one game, but it was like the perfect spot to lose, to be honest.
I see.
So I just banned that unit.
No, fair enough. All right, well, that's everything for the exclusive equipment. Let's see if there's anything else. Yes, let's talk about the next thing that's coming up. So the rerun for Night of the Last Succession. So this was the side story that involved Midnight Gala Lilius, right? The art contest winner had a lot of very interesting stuff in there. Talked about how Lilius came to be, it came to rise to power in Prolucia. Excuse me, trying to find the right words. But a lot of things came out of that. And first of all, obviously the hero is going to be re-released during this time, limited banner. What do you think about Midnight Gala Lilius and her artifact, which is Hostess of the Banquet, right? What do you think about the character right now? And, do you like using the character at all? Or, what do you think about the character in the current state?
I think it's a really fun unit, Galalilias, because you have different will from this hero. Because, for example, if you were a cleaver on the last season,
Right.
you played Galalilias with triple torrent Gala, just to go through, for example, these Xenias with 35,000 HP,
Yep.
or maybe Ambitious Tywin or things like that. With this triple torrent, you could kill them. It's the only way to do.
Right.
And also, you can see on the same season that 300 speed or 290 Galalilias, and she also dealt a lot of damage last season. But this season I think she's not really good because enough again it's really strong against them, and also you can pick Albedo, Ambitious Tywin, and things like that, and
Right.
it's hard.
Definitely. There's a lot that's going on there, right? A lot of counters, but I still feel like when she comes in, she definitely plays her role very, very strong, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Mine wasn't built too great. I was saying before, right? I could barely push over like 4K attack, and I had so much crit chance, and I can't personally build that because I had a lot of pieces with crit chance on it. But even when she didn't have like the best gear, right? She could still deal like 28K to like a 35K Senya, and that's enough for me to follow up with my team. And I thought that was very helpful for me. It's very interesting stuff. And then obviously your artifact, right, which is a effect resistance increase, and also with a Portrait of Saviors kind of buff, or cannon fire, right, which is basically over 50% health. If the enemy is over 50% health, they will take more damage, or you'll deal more damage. And again, with the F-res increase, which very much synergized with a little bit more of the slower Gala with the effect resistance, but I see it used a lot more on Bloodblade Karin nowadays, right? So.
Yeah, I think the artifact is really strong, for example, with BBK, because you take damage from the artifact, like, for example, the portrait, it's something like that. And at the same time, you get enough effect resistance to ignore taunts, stuns from unit with 0 effectiveness.
Right.
So I think it's really good for character like this, that unit like 120 effect resistance,
Right.
and at the same time deal damage.
Yeah. It's all very interesting stuff for sure. Okay, and I'm sure that, I've been kind of holding off talking about it, but obviously the last part about Night of the Last Succession, a lot of people talk about from last year's side story, was the Brawl mode. And for those who haven't played Epic 7 during that time, there was a game mode in the side story where you could basically play a little auto battler. And personally, I had a ton of fun with it. We played a little bit on stream. I played a lot of it off stream, I'll say that. Did you have fun playing Brawl mode last year as well?
Yeah, I think it was a good event right now. For example, it was something different that we never had. And I know maybe this doesn't happen in the future, but I would like to have this content just like a mini game to play with friends or something like that. But it's hard, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see, right? Like, I don't know what's cooking back there sometimes, but I'm really excited to see, more storylines like this. Obviously, we have that yearly art contest. We don't know what's going to come out of that just yet either, but a lot of exciting stuff, and Brawl mode was really unique. I personally really love the rhythm game side story too as well. A lot of people saying, yeah, they love Brawl mode. People want to see it as like a fixed mode. People are saying, yeah, great for auto chess players. Yeah, a lot of fans are on the board. I know that personally, I've just loved all of the side story mini games, like from Brawl mode to the rhythm game to the idle game during the Biblis side story, right? All of them were pretty fun. So chat, if you guys want to see Brawl mode maybe become permanent, let me know. I'll definitely put down your feedback. I'm certainly on that side as well. Hopefully, we'll see what happens in the future. Let's see here. Anything else to cover about it? Yes, last but not least here, we have the upcoming RTA season. Yes, so that's going to be starting very, very soon. How are you feeling about this current season? We have a lot of new players coming in, right? We have Empyrean Ilyanov especially. Harsetti just came out as well. And I think that people are also going to be starting to push out from the ban slot, probably New Moon Luna as well, right? So we might see a lot more of that as well. How are you feeling about that currently?
About the new season upcoming on the RTA, I mean, everything is going to change because we have one unit, it's Harsetti, that will move a lot of units.
Right.
But I think everything seems similar right now because we have been like 1 month more or less with the same units. But as fast as we have new units, for example, like the new Flan that I think will be released soon because it was in the video or something like that. Units like that will move the meta or maybe another buffs on the units and will be different for sure this season.
For sure,
a lot of immortal units, and that will be important.
Let me just get that all written down here. So you're saying that immortality will be like a large play in this season, you think?
Yeah, I think we are going to see a lot of units because, for example, in the past we didn't expect BBK or Arbitrary Builder to be really important,
Right.
the Resurrection and Immortal. And a lot of games in this meta, you can pick BBK and Arbitrary Builder on the last spot or spots,
Right.
and they just kill you sometimes.
I mean,
So
yeah. I mean, I remember the days of the BBK run, right? Like that was a big thing a couple of seasons ago. Fell off a little bit, but maybe K-Ron will make his comeback, and maybe again, as we said earlier, right? Maybe a lot of characters like Veronica will make a huge standing as well.
yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have to definitely see. And then for the character, Pirate Captain Flam, we were talking about her a little bit with the Seaside Hysteria discussion. Very excited to see what that will be cooked up into. I have no idea what they could do for her, but there's probably a ton of things that are out there. Are there any heroes that you would want to see, any ML5s that you would want to see as the next hero skin for the end of the season?
There is one unit that I was expecting to have the skin, and it was Ambitious Tywin because
Hey,
a lot of
Tywin.
a lot of players played last season, and I was thinking that maybe he was the one, the chosen one for this one.
I like it. Yeah, I feel like, how would you design a skin for Ambitious Tywin, right? He's this automatic doll, and he's got this very interesting look. I mean, his armor is pretty iconic, right? How would you redesign that, or how would you spin it off into a different direction?
I don't know too much about the lore from the game, the history, but something like Last Rider Crow could be really cool on Ambitious Tywin, something like that. Because when I think about Ambitious Tywin, I always remember Last Rider Crow, because I don't know if you played on the Golden Boys meta on the FGA.
Yes, I do. I have heard the stories.
Yeah, I always remember that two together, so I really like.
I see. So you think they would work fun as like a pair and pair, even though they might not interact in the lore and story. I like that. I'm seeing people are giving some, how do I put it, wild suggestions in the chat, including a pair. Okay. Just some interesting things in chat. I don't think I can say them or I can note them down, but yes, I did read your messages, chat. Anyways, I think it's pretty interesting though. You know, like a lot of them hit that very heroic design, right? We just had Lionheart Ceremony with like that after party style, right? Or Briarwitch's area, which was more like back into her past, right? Lots of cool things. So it'd be very interesting to see what might come out of that, and we'll just have to see as the season comes along. And again, for those who haven't participated in the World Arena season, you will be able to obtain the hero skin at the end of the season if you participate and finish in Masters or higher. If not, most of the times you just wait a couple seasons and then they'll be put into the skin shop, which with your skin tickets that you got from Epic Dash, hey, you might be able to pick up. I still don't know who to choose for that, by the way. But yeah, that's everything that we had for the update. And we were talking a little bit about balance, adjustments, buffs, nerfs, et cetera, going further. We have the wheel of balance to go talk about. So I guess, are you ready? Ready to jump into that? All right, I'll just go with it, yeah. Sorry, I'm all over the place here, but yes, if we're ready to go, we'll go ahead and take care of that. Let's go. Let's go. Hello, I'm over here now on this wheel. I don't know if you can see it too well. I was going to rewrite them. It's a little bit dark, but I will go over it. Welcome everybody to the big wheel of balance. This is a little segment that I've been coming up with to talk about characters in the current metagame who might need some adjustments, either going up or going down in terms of strength and overall kit viability. So just to go down the list here, these characters here that are listed in the brighter color is going to be a buff. In this red color, which unfortunately you can't really see well on the camera, I was going to replace it. My bad. I will replace it very soon. These are going to be characters that we're going to nerf if we land on it. We have a lot of things here, so just to start it off here, you can't see it. Blood Moon Haste, any underused specialty change, so just any character who is not really used in the PvP meta. There's a couple of them, right, with Amiki coming out too. A lot of people are using, but there might be some that might need a little touch up. So we'll talk about that if that comes up. We have Nukwal, Peacemaker Furious, Lua, Twisted Eidolon Kairon, Death Dealer Ray as recommended by Deity, Fallen Cecilia, Janua, any 4-star underused Covenant heroes. So as I've been saying every week, I don't think we need any buffs for Sid, but that is certainly a 4-star Covenant hero. That's why I put underused. But yeah, that's that. Navy Captain Landy, Ruel of Light, New Moon Luna, and Kane as recommended by Divine Shadow. So, you ready to spin? Let's get spin here. We're at 3, 2, 1, and let's see it. Oh, wow, coming into Deity, which came in from last week. This is Death Dealer Ray. So today on this show, we're going to be nerfing Death Dealer Ray. We're going to be talking about it with you in chat. Xander and I are also going to talk about a way to maybe tone down his kit a little bit. And before I go back, Xander, do you have any characters that you think should receive a little bit of nerfing right now that I can add to this board in replacement?
Nerf right now, some unit. Luna, for sure.
New Moon Luna, I believe we do have her on the list. Let me check here. She's already on the list over here. Any other heroes by chance?
Another hero to be nerfed. ML5?
Yeah, any.
Any. Nagwal is...
She's on there as well, yes.
Okay.
We've covered, I've done a lot of research aggregating a lot of these, making sure that these lists do accurately reflect what's going on right now.
I'm thinking the strongest ones right now.
Yeah.
Oh, Landy for sure. It's there.
Landy's there too.
Right.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
If we're not ready, I'll come back to it later, but we'll keep that in mind as we go back. So why don't we get back into the game here and just start talking about Death Dealer Ray. I'm here. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I have everything here. As you can see, I've also got my lobby set up here. Missing something similar to someone said as well, maybe Polly. Maybe C Phantom Politis. But let's talk about Death Dealer Ray right now. Let me pop into here and let's just pull out her kit. Here he is. So, Death Dealer Ray, as we know, is a pretty recent ML5, came out a little while ago, but his kit was a little bit different to how it is now. It used to be a focus scaling character where focus would be able to activate his skill 3. But I'm going to go through all the skills here. We'll talk about them in their current state and talk about maybe ways that we can tune down this character a little bit. Starting off with the skill 3, Cloud of Death. This is a dispel for 2 buffs and has a chance to put the enemy to sleep and to inflict venom. This now grants an extra turn as well. So, as you guys know, sleep puts them to sleep, reduces critical hit resistance and evasion. Very strong stuff here. And then venom, it's like poison, but it also adds on some of the injury effect to it. Skill 2, one of the biggest things here, anatomical mutation, which is increased effectiveness and the pestilence buff for all allies. And this basically, pestilence gives a chance to attack. When you attack, you get a venom debuff applied. And when at the end of the turn, it also detonates it. So there's like a lot of injury being put onto your opponent, right? And lastly, clinical trial. This is his skill 1. Basically, he'll put an enemy to sleep, and at the end of it, will also deal damage equivalent to the injury currently on the opponent. This also can't, trigger a dual attack. There are very few characters that have a skill 1 sleep, like Moon Bunny and Angelic Montmorency. But funny enough, Angelic Montmorency is the only character who can still trigger a dual attack, just for fun, by the way. So let's talk about this, right? So this is the kit right now. What do you think are the biggest strengths of Death Dealer Ray right now from his kit? And maybe we can pull out some ideas from there.
I mean, the Dealer Ray is really strong with the S3 and the S2 combo at the same turn, for example.
Right.
Because you are going to dispel the units. You can place on them venom and sleep at the same time. So that's crazy right now with this unit.
Definitely.
And also the pestilence. You deal the allies to set venom, and at the same time the ton.
All the detonate stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's like a big thing, right? A lot of people were talking about it as well. Like if you have a character with like a bunch of AoEs and extra attacks, right? I remember having times where I'd fight against like a Pestilence Bellion, and she'd use S1, S2, and then just my team just explodes, right? Like a ton of venom, tons of venom. So that's definitely a very strong thing. Already getting some early thoughts of people saying here, maybe removing that extra turn might be enough, but Is there anything else? Because like honestly, I pull Moon Bunny into Death Dealer Ray all the time because of that, to pinch away that ability to use that skill 3. But maybe that's a 1 start. Anything else that you think is very strong about Death Dealer Ray at the current moment?
Maybe that something that could be possible to remove to do the Dealer Ray some viable to play against it. Maybe the Pestilence, the allies let them to set Venom, or maybe 2 Venoms on the enemy, but do not detonate at the same time.
So you're saying that Pestilence shouldn't detonate?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's just only the Dealer Ray it's able to detonate.
Only Death Dealer Ray would be able to. Maybe that would be on his clinical trial, right? Where
yeah,
it would do.
If we need to nerf, it's something like maybe I could find possible.
Gotcha. And would that also still include the injury-based damage, right? Because it's like, if you think about that, like that would be interesting, right? Your team is setting up all this play here into Death Dealer Ray to just hit like 4 Venoms, right? It pops the Venom and then it pops the injury damage. That could be insane, but it requires a lot of setup, right?
Yeah, it's like, for example, I always remember 2 units that are crazy with Dealer Ray. One you told, it's Valiant, because a lot of people is playing Valiant 3F right now, the artifact from Albedo.
Yes.
And it's like you have Pestilence, 3F, Venom, and Detonate. It's like you are going to die.
Yeah, your team explodes, right? So in this way, you're saying that even if your team gets bombarded with Venoms everywhere, right, you will at least be able to utilize a strong cleanser, like let's say Infinite Horizon Acades, Laya, Mediator Coeric, and be able to at least pull away some of that strength that Death Dealer Ray holds, right? Because I think that some of the only tools that are really used against Death Dealer Ray right now are like Selene, Politis maybe even, but I feel like your opponent's usually going to try to grab one of those characters as well, right? So
yeah, there is one unit that it's good against Death Dealer Ray in some, well, yeah, it's good. It's Sharon, the ML Sharon.
Yes, ML Sharon, right? Dragon King Sharon, yes, because she does activate on sleep triggers, right?
Yeah, it's like you force the enemy to do S2 on the first turn, and you for the last turn, well, for the next turn, the second one, you know that the Dealer Ray has to do S3 or basic attack. So maybe you can trigger the sleep and you activate Sharon. So you get free damage, you push Sharon and things like this.
Yeah, very interesting stuff. I think that's like a great way to pull away a lot of that grip that he has, because I feel like even though there are characters who counter extra turns or counter non-attack skills, right? Death Dealer Ray still can just power through that, right? I think it's kind of the biggest thing, right? He doesn't really mind getting punished too much because he's going to set up a huge thing for his teammates.
I mean, right now in the game we have to counter the sleeps. We have Sharon and we have another unit to counter the sleep, like Sharon.
Right. I mean, unless you were to use units that don't sleep themselves, right? Which is like Mort and Landy and...
Yeah, I mean that that wake up your team and receive something.
Right.
I think we don't have anything.
We don't have too many sleep counters at the moment, aside from general cleansers, right?
Yeah.
So that makes sense. And some people are saying, you know, maybe remove the sleep, but someone's arguing that, like, if you remove the sleep, it basically just becomes Green Sharon, which I think is totally fair as well. So there's a lot of things that are considerable. Yeah, I think that's like a very, very easy way to pull away. So again, just to summarize, right? Either, no, not either, excuse me. The biggest change that we want to make is that we would change so that Death Dealer Ray becomes a very explosive character on his own, right? So if he has a skill 1, he'll detonate and do the injury-based damage, right? But in turn, right, to get that, he needs to cycle, first of all. And second of all, Pestilence will now no longer detonate, but can still apply those Venoms, right?
Yeah.
I think that's perfect. Chat, any thoughts? Some people are saying, yeah, there's still a lot of trouble with Soul Weavers, though, just given, you know, how much injury there is. I know that's another thing a lot of people have been talking about, injury cleansers or other future things. But I think that for the moment, this would pull away at least some of the strength that injury does hold. And I know that I'm saying that as Alencia just came out with the buffs, right? Crazy character, but And some people are saying maybe like, instead of nerfing him, maybe, releasing a couple units that are immune to sleep. But I honestly like this is again, if for those who are just tuning in, this is a thought experiment. This isn't anything that is going to be, immediately integrated by the developers. This is just me and Xander talking about characters that are in the current state of the game very strong or very weak, and ways to integrate things that we could find, have fun just thought experimenting with, right? Previous weeks we had Brigida, and we also had Laia, which I know a lot of people say that Laia is not as strong as she used to be in the current meta, but we still nerfed her anyways just to talk about it, right? So I think that's like there's a lot going on here, obviously, but I just wanted to have this fun little thought experiment. All right, anything else maybe? Do you think that changing him back to a focus character would be also interesting, or?
I prefer the...
You prefer the skills?
I mean, yeah, I prefer the skills. I always hate the focus because you have to wait a lot of turns. Sometimes you have to survive, and when you are going to use the focus, maybe you get a stun from the enemy or taunt or things like that, and I don't like.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying, yeah, DDR is kind of needed like this in the current meta. Because again, you've got Solitaria and you've got C-Fan and Politis, obviously, right? So definitely some fair discussion about that. But I will say it was kind of fun. It was kind of fun watching the 240 counter Death Dealer raids just running around. That was very fun to watch. But I think that his buffs certainly put him into a better state. But now it's about just fine tuning things into a little bit more of a all rounder that still has noticeable ways to punish or to deal with this character. As a quick aside, someone just said, "Is there any update on the gold bug?" Yes, we are aware of it. We have reported it. I will let you guys know as soon as I can if we get any updates on that. So thank you for putting that notice in. Okay, chat. Any other thoughts? How do we feel about it? Anything else? I know that someone said C-Fan and Politis for the next unit to nerf. Any other thoughts come to mind as we're talking about it for characters maybe in the current metagame we should tune down a little bit?
Tune down some units. I mean, it's like I said before, when we talk about nerf some unit from the meta, I mean, it's always like Luna, Candy, and units like this come to my mind because that units do not let you play, or maybe Candy, if she wants, on turn 1 she have the ultimate. It's like, what happened?
Certainly. Yeah, again, we do have those characters already on the list. Maybe, how do we feel about, okay, so if we can't find a character to nerf, why don't we add a buff instead? So is there any character, right? ML4, ML5, Covenant 4, 345, doesn't matter. Any character right now do you feel like really should get a buff? Obviously, I'd say save the specialty change ones for the wild card, but for everything else, I'd say fair game. And yeah, someone already said Peacemaker. I already have it, so take that.
Elson specialty change.
Any ML4, ML5, or just Covenant 5-star character that you think might need a buff?
There's one unit that it was almost one of the oldest ML5 heroes that I really like. It's Silverblade Araminta.
Silverblade Araminta?
I really like this hero because she's really old, but she only had in the past, like when Silverblade Araminta and Deity were strong units, but she disappeared. So
yeah, time definitely changes the meta game, and characters sometimes lose their standing, right? So if that's the case, then I will add Silverblade Araminta as your suggestion for the next person. All right, let me just make sure I have that written down. Okay, so we have just a little bit of extra time here. Awesome discussion here. I definitely will be getting some thoughts in for the next couple of things, but as you guys might have seen on my lobby, I have some characters that I do like Senya, obviously, but I do have one of the characters here is featured, Amiki, but there's someone missing from that 4th slot, isn't it? So I think it's time to do some polls for Harsetti. What do you say? Chat, do we want to do predictions too? Do you want to do some Gamba? I think we can do some Gamba. So we'll put in some polls here. I'll wait just a minute here, and then Xander, do you have any rituals that you use for polling for new heroes? Any lock channels, stuff like that? Any ways that you guys like to guarantee?
I always move to a special channel.
Okay.
And I always do the new emote that we received from the Epic 7 World Championship.
Oh, the Epic Love one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
always use one of that.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Which channel then?
Yeah.
If you don't mind me stealing some of your luck here.
Don't worry. 6982.
See. All right. So we'll go in here. I'll hold myself in here, and then we're gonna get the prediction in. So once that prediction's all ready to go, I will. I'll put myself in there. I'm gonna wait for now. Just gonna wait for the prediction. So I guess okay. Let me put in the numbers here. So I have 31 galaxies. I have 35 transmits, which means I have basically another 6, right? And then I have 5 K mystics. So fingers crossed. But put in your gamba. Pray for me or pray against me. I don't mind. You know, these are your channel points, obviously. We'll just have to see what happens. Someone said, yes, got the streamer buff. Do I have a streamer? Am I a streamer? Do we count me as a streamer? I guess we count me as a streamer, right? I guess. I don't know. Hard to say. I'm gonna hold this because it's very loud.
I'm going to say before you pull.
Yes.
Today I did 200 pulls.
You did 200. I'm at 195 to pity, please. All right. I'm gonna use my own luck then. I'm gonna pray. Please. All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Starting off as expected. Let's just see how it goes here.
Maybe at least it's not everything 3-star, so that's it.
You know, we take those, right?
Yeah.
All right, starting off with some Arties. A lot of 4-star Arties. Okay, we take that. A lot of Rosa Hargana. Okay, that's 10.
Enough to buy the Gala Lilias artifact next week.
Ooh, that's not looking good. Uh-oh.
No.
I'm just gonna keep sending them. Oh, I don't like that.
No.
I don't like that. Oh, I really don't like that. Oh no. Chat,
Did
hold
you
me.
pull the love emote?
I put the stick one.
Yeah,
Maybe I cursed
okay.
myself. Oh no.
Oh, Abyssal Crown.
Okay,
but
we take a crown. But I'm gonna look like a clown in a second here. Wait. Okay, that's a fake out.
Okay, maybe something more.
Nope. Oh boy, we're at the last 4 here, Chad. Pray. Again, I still have my galaxies technically, but it's not looking great.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Ah, 3 more. Come on, chat. Pray for me.
Fake out? Oh.
Oh, it's Leo. Wait.
Oh. Fake out.
We did it, chat. Believers in chat. Oh, we did it.
GG.
And an Abyssal Crown, please? Oh, that'd be so funny, honestly. Wait, what? Hold on.
Something else.
Okay, just another Hargana. Can we end the drama? Please? Thank you. There we are.
Now it's time to pull the second, speed one and a slow one.
Yeah, of course. You know, right now, right?
Oh, maybe?
Another crown. I'll take another crown.
Or maybe for Deity Ray, do you? Oh,
I got another crown. We take that. You know, I'm just gonna dunk him. Send him.
everything.
Okay.
Ah.
A lot of Glens. Okay. We have time. I'm gonna do galaxies as well. Why not? Huh? Just go on a full summoning stream. Why don't we?
Okay.
Why not? GG's though. Very, very thank you for letting me borrow your luck, by the way. I appreciate that. All right.
Do you have any special moonlight do you want right now?
Who do I want right now? Polly, probably. Gonna pray for Polly. And I have enough for her to hit the pity too, so.
There is one you told me before. Haste.
What's up? I do have haste now. I got him through Epic
okay.
Dash.
Okay.
So we're good. So we're gonna just send these and just pray that something nice comes out. All right, 4-star. Wait, what? Okay. I was about to say.
This hero maybe needs a buff.
I know, right? Ranger? All right, now. Shuri.
Yeah.
Surely. All right, 6 more, 5 more. Not looking great here. But you know what? I've already used most of my luck, so I'm okay. I'm happy
Yeah,
with...
it's good enough. Yeah.
I'm perfectly content with where I am. Soul Weaver? Okay.
Do you have all the 4 stars?
I do. Yes, I do, actually. 4-star mage again. Okay. Dorado. This is another character that's actually immune to sleep as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Celeste. All right. 2 more here. All of these 4-star mages, man. This game, if I went the reverse order, I would have thought the game was taunting me. All right, 4 to 5 star.
Important.
Okay. We expected it.
Maybe?
We expected it. A mage again? Dude, imagine. Hey, well, it's fine. I'll take it. Actually, I have a triple S. Okay, well, what a roller coaster. What a roller coaster of emotions there. Before I switch back to the talk screen, I want to do something for solidarity here. Where is she? There she is. Bep and bep. Ta-da! There we go. All right, very, very, very nice stuff. Okay, so that is all the time that we do have for today, though. I mean, what a stream, though. A lot of fun. That was a really fun time as well, talking about the DDR stuff, even though I will be trying to build mine very soon. Very interesting stuff, for sure. Xander, if you'd like to take a moment to just talk about where do you stream, where you create content, any of the last thoughts, feel free to do so now.
Okay. I always stream on Twitch on these hours, more or less. And at the same time, I always do videos on YouTube, more or less 1 video each 2 days, because the last time I said 1 video every day, my community always remembered me. So
That's great.
So yeah, recently content, daily Epic 7 content.
Daily Epic 7. Yeah, I always see you online. It's always great to see you in a community full of love. It's always great to see. And you had a pretty long stream today as well. You streamed, what, 12 hours, you said?
Yeah.
Insane, man. I really do appreciate the love and support you give for the Epic 7 community. I mean, like, you're coming on here after a 12-hour stream, man. Cannot thank you enough. Seriously. Anything else you want to say? Any shout-outs, any special thanks?
No, thank you for inviting me, and thank you for the community to support me and keep doing it. So thanks, everyone.
Of course, awesome, awesome. Well, as you guys know, Orbis Overdrive is every 2 weeks, so we will be back very, very soon with the next update. Obviously, we are in tandem with a 1-minute summary, so super excited to see you guys next time. Thank you guys, as always, for your love and support. We always, always appreciate it. Thank you guys again so much. We'll be sending a raid out in just a moment, but until then, we will see you all next time. Take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye-bye.